YouTube, what is up? We are back with day 2 of the new program. And let me tell you what, jet lag is a real motherfucker right now. The last 2 days, I haven't been able to fall asleep until like 2 a.m. and I gotta wake up at 5 to come to the gym. Sleep schedule's been all sorts of fucked. Brain just, you know, like those nights where you sleep and you wake up, you just don't sleep very well, and your brain just feels like it's like humming all day. It's like zzz all day. That is what my brain has felt like all day, and we've just had to muscle through work. But today is a pretty nice and easy microdose workout. I'll show you right here what we got. Throwing up here, starting with these hang snatches. We got 3 sets of 1 at 185 to 190. Then we go power cleans, 3 sets of 1 at 270 to 280. Then we finish up with just a couple accessories. We got pull-ups, we got 1-arm bench, and we got some Jefferson isos just to hold that there. And that's like we talked about yesterday on day 1 of the program here. I'll set you up here just so I can make sure you can see me. I like the microdosing aspect of this program. Again, it's a very bare bones Olympic lifting program, and we're going to add the sprints and jumps and other athletic movements in there as we go. I try not to sprint and jump today off of 2 hours of sleep and fuck myself up. And we got new turf being installed here, so that's kind of cool. That's going to be in next week. Should be brand new turf. So if you're in the area and you want to come play in some turf with us, come with next week, and you'll pop the cherry on the brand new turf. But the microdosing aspect of this new program is pretty sickening. I love the bare bones, and I love the ability to like be flexible with some of the accessory stuff that I want to do. Like, it was literally just the top 2 things program today, and then the rest of it is just me adding in some accessories. And it seems to be like a pretty high lowish program where Monday, Wednesday, Friday we're really getting after it, and then Tuesday and Thursday are really just touching the Olympic lifts and getting more reps there, which I really do love that philosophy. I know I talked about Dozier, talking about that in his YouTube videos. If you just want to get better at Olympic lifting, you need to Olympic lift more. And I think this program sets me up in a way to be able to do that, as long as we're able to hold on and survive with this shitty sleep schedule and all the softball we got going today. But day 2 of the program, let's freaking rip. All right, just going to hit a kettlebell barbell windmills here. A couple little warm-up exercises. We're going to come up, hit these barbell windmills from Dozier here. Open up the shoulders just a little bit. We just finished up some hangs and some butcher stretch. I think you guys are pretty sick of seeing those by now, as well as some band assisted snatches here. We're just trying to open up the shoulders here, get the body moving a little bit. We are pretty sore from yesterday and just from the shit sleep and all the travel we have. We also head to, I'm really excited for the trip, but head to Denver for a softball tournament next week that I'm pretty pumped about, but I will be gone for another whole week. But I will be making YouTube videos while I'm there. I told my girlfriend we have to go make YouTube videos while I'm there. Otherwise, people are gonna kill me. So we're gonna stay on top of that as we travel here and be a little bit better. I got fucking absolutely nothing done in Hawaii, and I'm totally all right with that, but can't fall behind another week. Intern Henry gets here on Friday. Hopefully to get a lift in with him on Friday. He wants to clean 315 when he's here in the States, so that'd be a pretty sick little journey to document with him. Maybe we can do Send It Fridays together and kind of rip from there. But right now, just warming up with these snatches. Then we got our working sets. Then we'll go to our cleans. Then we'll go to our accessories. Let's rip. From there, we're just gonna hit these suicide snatches and high pulls just to kind of ingrain that. I really want to keep those wrists flat, keep that bar close today, especially with this lighter weight. Kind of ride that body, not hump it. Oh my God, we are fucking sore. Oh, bro. Sometimes the best warm up is honestly just fucking around with the barbell in your hand and just moving for a little bit until you're feeling pretty solid. I don't really have a total plan here right now. I'm just trying to open up the body a little bit and feel a little bit less spoopy. So we hit some overhead squats here. My ass cheeks are so sore from the 2 weeks off into those squats and snatches yesterday. Oh my God. Couple more high pulls, then we'll get into some reps. Let's get some reps in. All right, warm-ups were flying, so we're gonna hit all 3 of these sets at 190. Should be pretty easy. My hang snatch is so much significantly stronger than my real snatch. Like the numbers are pretty close, but just how much more proficient and powerful I feel in the hang snatch compared to the regular snatch is telling me there's such a massive technical flaws off the ground compared to when I'm in the hang and I can just rip. But these are feeling really, really explosive. I really like the way these feel, especially with how the legs are feeling today. So we got 3 sets at 190 here. I wanted to kind of rant about a tweet a coach posted today, and of course, it is Mike Boyle, who just confirmed all of his old age, old head, strength coach kind of thought processes with his tweet of, "It makes me sad when I see former interns doing TikTok and Instagram trend reels. I feel like we had failed them." And honestly, somebody commented in the tweet my exact thoughts of Nathan C. RWB Fitness posted, "There's still people with interests and hobbies. If they were all robots that did the same thing, it also wouldn't be considered success." And that just could not confirm it a little bit more. And talking about failing your interns, what is succeeding as a strength coach for an intern in the S&C field? You're going to go get them a 30 to 60K a year job where they're working fucking 80 hours a week and they're doing it by the book and they're doing everything that you told them to do, and they're not taking advantage of social media and they're not branching out and being creative individuals by themselves. Like, is that fucking succeeding to you as a strength coach, as a mentor, to set your interns up for a boring basic life so it looks good on you as a strength coach and they can't make any fucking money and they leave the field and they get burnt out? Like, it's so fucking dumb the way these old heads talk about the strength conditioning field. And I'm reading the book, The Sovereign Individual, right now, and it's talking about the transition. And this book is super fucking cool. Keir Wyndham Flatt recommended it to me when he was on the podcast a long time ago. If you haven't read it, it's a fucking dense read. But I'm getting to a part that's super fucking interesting. And the book was written before, I think it was right when the internet was starting. It was like 1990s, and it predicted everything the internet would do. And basically, one of the predictions was that old people of power before the internet, or right at the start of the internet, are going to grasp onto that power and cling to that power when they feel like they're losing it, when the internet becomes more open space and becomes free for everyone to access and make money off of. And they put it in a way of talking about how governments are going to really, really struggle to continually like kind of tyrant-like reign over all the industries that they have, because everything's going to go to the open market and they're going to have competition, and big conglomerates like the government can't compete with the open market and people innovating all the time. And I really do believe you can draw that in the strength conditioning field, where you have these old heads, you have these early adopters that were writing articles in these closed spaces where not everybody had access to post information. Instagram wasn't a thing, TikTok wasn't a thing. Not every coach had access to be able to post their ideas and post their information. And obviously now you have the full other end of the spectrum where everybody's posting everything and there's just too much information. But that's still so much better than 4 or 5 strength coaches having a monopoly on the field, especially when those strength coaches, just like every strength coach, just like every human, don't have all the answers. But when they started the field and they were the only 4 to 5 strength coaches that had access to these, to be able to write articles and access to large populations of people viewing their stuff, as soon as they start to lose that monopoly, they're going to cling to it and they're going to say stupid things like Boyle says all the time. And like a lot of these old head strength coaches say, and it's kind of funny just like how blind they are to like their own ignorance and their own rise. And I really think about the situation of, if you put Boyle as a 20-year-old strength coach now, would he succeed? Would he have any original ideas? Would he have anything that grabs the market now that the market is actually saturated? Or was it just because he had a monopoly on the market because he was one of the early adopters? And being one of the early adopters of the internet and being one of the early adopters to writing articles and taking advantage of that is an amazing thing. It's just funny how you lose sight of that so quickly when you become a figure of power, when you become an authority figure, and then you start to cling onto that rather than realizing these kids are doing the same thing you were doing and the same thing you did to rise, to become one of these old heads, to become one of these tyrants. They're taking advantage of the same revenue sources, of the same ways to get their eyes on their ideas and products. And now you're mad at them for doing the same thing you're doing. And it's just so silly. And it just bugs me, because the strength conditioning field always bitches about not making enough money, always bitches about the burnout, always bitches that we aren't respected. And then you have kids taking advantage of these tools that can make them money, that can make them authority figures, that can get eyeballs on the product, that can completely change their life in a way that a college strength conditioning job or most private sector strength conditioning jobs just cannot do. When you're capped at $60K a year at some of these jobs, but you want them to be little minions of yours. And it's like, that's not succeeding. Being a minion of yours is not succeeding. I don't want any of my fucking interns to do what I do. I want them to succeed in their own life, in their own way, in their own approach, in their own personalities, in their own hobbies. And I want that to get out to the world. And getting that out to the world not only betters the field because all these interns have really bright ideas, they have really dumb ideas too, just like I have really dumb ideas, but just like Boyle has really dumb ideas, just like everybody has really dumb ideas. Now you open up the marketplace to allow these dumb ideas to compete with good ideas rather than just taking the word of the 4 to 5 strength coaches that have good ideas and bad ideas, right? You don't increase the negative, you just increase the chance for competition and you increase the chance for good ideas to thrive. I just have a real distaste for people trying to take that away because they feel like they know better. You don't know better. And if we did know better, we'd have all the answers in strength conditioning. We don't fucking have that. And it just seems like such a gross abuse of power. And trying to take away a kid or an intern's ability to express himself and create art, whether it's fun, whether it's funny, or silly, or maybe it is information-based that they just don't like the information of it, is just so dumb. And it just won't succeed in an open marketplace. And it's why you haven't heard any good ideas from these old head coaches in a long time. They all have their one great idea, their one early adopter idea that gets them to where they're at, and then they confuse that with having all the answers, and it's just not the case. So if you are reading stuff like that, if you are feeling pressure from these coaches, if you are feeling pressure from your mentors to stay in line and just do what they're doing, man, first off, look at how many successful strength coaches are doing what they're doing. There are very few. And then look at how many successful business people there are on the other aspect of things that have made 6 figures through the social media space while expressing their views, while being free individual human beings. And just see which pathway in life that you want to take. And I'm not saying every strength coach out there needs to be silly or goofy or needs to make memes or needs to do these trends. I'm just saying if you want to do it, it's not going to kill you. And it's probably honestly going to help you, especially if you enjoy making that content. So don't listen to those people. Make the content you enjoy making. Learn through that process of creating that content and enjoy the open marketplace that is strength conditioning now, and don't listen to people that have monopolies or old monopolies or failing monopolies on the field, right? That's all I have. Let's get this. Oh yeah, I like that one. That was sickening. Let's get to some cleans. All right, now we got 3 sets of 1 at 270 of these cleans. Let's build up to there. Let's get it. Ooh. For the haters that can't say I can't jerk. God damn, the jerk is rusty. We used to do jerks. We used to do clean and jerks in high school. Felt pretty good about that. But I never did hook grip in high school. I'm trying to readjust that grip after hook grip's a little goofy. I'll do one more jerk and then we'll hit our actual cleans. Oh boy, that jerk was dangerously fun to do. We might have to start adding in maybe just like once a week of jerks, because that was kind of fun. It was a good little fun feel that I haven't had in a while. I'm gonna fucking end up going full Oli. God damn it, boys. But the technique's gonna need some work. Trying to regrip the hand and then catching that position, I felt like I was snapping my elbow out, but it felt really, really fucking fun. That was kind of cool. Now we got 3 sets of 1 at this, power clean in it. Let's rip. Oh yeah! Woo! Ooh, got a little nut drop on that one. You know, like when you slam your feet in the ground a little bit too much and nuts drop? Ooh, that one kind of got that one. But I really like hitting a couple sets of these lighter ones, especially before our heavy days on the cleans and snatch. It's kind of a twofold thing for me. I'm a pretty big fan and proponent, as I've talked about before, like meatheading some of these Olympic lifts and just being able to throw up weight. There's like a feel there and an explosiveness there that you kind of lose when you start maxing out the weight. That's not to say it's better than maxing out the weight or going heavy on it. I just think there's a different quality and there's a different feel there, and it also just builds up a ton of confidence when you're moving like 75 to 80% of your weight just super fucking explosively. It makes you leave the gym feeling all fucking juiced up, and I absolutely love that feel. And then obviously with this weight, getting a bunch of clean technical reps in, which is really cool too. And the high frequency approach allows you to continue to kind of hammer that stuff in. So I really like being able to hit lighter weights in your program and leaving the day, and I like that microdose approach, kind of combining those two philosophies to where 2 days a week you just leave the gym feeling really fucking good about yourself without missing the weight and feeling really technically proficient and strong. And then the next day when you get after the weight and you try to set a new PR, you can go in just with a little bit more confidence. So I really like that approach. Now we got our accessories. We got some pull-ups, we got some one-arm bench, and we got some Jefferson curls to finish. And I'll record those. Let's get after it. All right. Now we got 3 sets of 10 of this single arm bench. These have been one of my all-time favorite accessories for athletes on their upper body days. To just get some single arm pressing. I think it really works the hand, wrist, and elbow together, and you get a sickening chest pump with a lot of this single arm pressing. If you're really trying to overload it, it's usually a little bit better with a dumbbell just because you get a little bit more weight and it's a little less leverage. But if you're really trying to work that hand, wrist, and elbow, using that barbell with that long lever just hits a little different, and it's absolute spicy, and I love this. So we've got 3 sets of 10 here. We'll see how heavy we can rip. Let's get it. Let's go. All right, second set here. Let's rip. Let's go. Fucking grip is giving out. Come on, bitch. Oh, goddamn. Fucking forearms are all gunky from those pull-ups. And grip was giving out a little bit there. We got one more set. Let's rip. All right, final set here. Then we're gonna finish our last set of pull-ups and then finish up some Jefferson curls. Let's rip. Come on. Oof. 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 Oh my God. Those are fucking spicy. Holy shit. Chest is on fire, hands on fire. Let's finish this up. Let's go. Holy fuck. Oof. 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 Let's fucking go. Finish this workout up. That was fucking hard. Let's go. All right, then we got our last set of pull-ups here, just 3 sets of 8 pull-ups. I'm strapping these babies up. With all the BP and softball stuff that I do, if I do a ton of pull-ups and a ton of really just hard grip work, the elbow really starts to get gunky and the forearms really start to get gross. And I started to feel that on the first set of these, so just gonna be proactive there with these straps. And grip right now really isn't a limiting factor in anything that I'm doing, so not too worried about that right here, but we got 8 reps here. Let's rip it. Oh, let's go. Let's finish up with some Jefferson curls and get out of here. All right, then last thing we got today, just a little mobility piece here, bending the spine, getting some spinal work in. We got a 2-minute Jefferson curl hold here, trying to segment that spine, get a little bit of folded work in, and keep building up a bulletproof and weaponized spine. Let's get it. Ooh. Oh my God. That was kind of nice and cool how those opened up towards the end. I really like doing that mobility stuff in 2 to 3 sets. First set really just opens it up like that, and the second and third set it usually typically feels like you can get into that range of motion a little bit better. So typically I would use that as my warm-up set and then add 2 sets on, but we gotta leave for softball league right now. But next week we'll probably add in 2 to 3 sets of those just because it just really start to open up and you finally start to find your range of motion towards the end of the 2 to 3 minute ISO that you have. And then the next set is usually just so much better. You usually can sink into that from the beginning and then hold that end range and really start to own that end range a little bit better through those 2 minutes, which I really like. So that was a pretty good day 2 of the program. I'm enjoying it so far. Appreciate you guys watching. Keep chopping wood.